The 2020 Nissan Sentra looks very similar to the 2020 Maxima, but smaller. The first generation of the Nissan Sentra was introduced back in 1982 as a direct replacement for the Datsun 210. The model was initially imported from Japan, where it was produced at the Zama plant, available in 4 body styles: 2-door sedan, 4-door sedan, 5-door wagon, and a 3-door hatchback coupe. Then Nissan decided, to hell with it, we're just going to keep the 4-door sedan. Fast forward to 2020, Nissan introduced the 8th generation of the Sentra, finally after 7 years. On the other hand, we have the 2020 Honda Civic, in Japanese meaning Honda Shibikku, a car created for citizens and cities. The Civic in North America is like the Mercedes Benz in Albania, where pretty much everyone owns one or is thinking of buying one. The first generation Honda Civic was introduced in 1972, but sold as a 1973 model in Japan. The current generation is the 10th model introduced back in 2016, and probably we won't get a new generation for another couple of years. The 2020 Nissan Sentra has the SR package, meanwhile the 2020 Civic has the Touring package. So which one offers the most out of these two? That is the goal for today's video. Special thanks for today's video goes to our good friends at Oakville Honda for allowing me to borrow the 2020 Honda Civic with the Touring trim. If you want to know more about them, the link will be in the description box. Also, just because you're watching this video on my channel, you'll be able to get a discount or a promotion for this model. So if you want to reach out to them, the link to find out more and get your promo or discounts will be in the description box. The first question is, what does the Sentra offer that the Civic doesn't? Well, first is the price. This will cost you less compared to the Civic Touring. And that, of course, applies to the people watching from US or Canada. Even though both these two have the same length, the Sentra offers more trunk space compared to the Honda Civic. In the Sentra, you also get heated steering wheel, something that you don't get in the Civic for those cold days. It also offers blind spot assist. Onto this side here, it has a little light that flashes every time there is a vehicle on your left or right side. In the Honda Civics, you don't get a blind spot assist, but what you do get is technically a camera on the right side. So every time you turn on the indicator for left and right, it will basically show you into the center screen the objects on the right side. The interior in the Sentra SR, it's a bit more sporty if you like that kind of design. You have a bit of a suede in the center here and of course cloth around it with beautiful orange stitches, a beautiful touch, give it a more sporty experience. It also has a flat button in here, again, to follow that kind of experience. And in terms of the cluster itself, this has a standard digital cluster center with an analog tachometer and an analog speedometer. The next question I have is, what does this thing offer more that the Sentra doesn't, and why does it cost more than the Sentra? Well, first, the features that it offers inside that you don't get in the Sentra SR. It offers heated side mirrors, it offers a wireless charging pad in the center, of course heated seats in the front, same as the Sentra, but it does offer heated seats on the rear side for the second row. Very interesting. At the same time, you got pedal shifters onto the steering wheel if you want to have some fun. It also offers power handbrakes, and at the same time you get the brake hold, so every time you get to a stoplight, it will stop after you remove the foot off the brake, and then it will activate once you press the gas pedal. Now, in terms of standard features, they both share some. For example, they both have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. They both have a backup camera, with the difference is that the Sentra offers rear parking sensors. In terms of the safety features, they both have lane assist. Of course, you get gap assist as well. Semi-autonomous driving, not full stage, of course, with the option to keep you within the lanes, which we'll be testing out once I take them for a test drive. But in terms of the infotainment system, they both have touchscreen infotainment system that you can operate through the touch option, no center unit to control the actual infotainment system. In terms of the interior, the Honda offers full leather with some sport style around it, but not so much compared to the Nissan Sentra SR. In the Civic, you also get power seat for the passenger on the right side. In the Sentra SR, we only get standards manual option. Now that I've covered everything you need to know about these two and how do they compare head to head, it's time to take them for a test drive and see how they do on the road in terms of comfort level, power delivery, and how good do they feel on the road. Let's go for a drive. Okay, so we're going for a drive with the Honda Civic first. This model is equipped with the 1.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that makes 174 brake horsepower for the Touring. If you want, you can purchase the SI, which makes about a 200 horsepower. That, of course, is the next level trim. First of all, I like this camera on the side. I like that it shows only the right side. This is actually pretty good for turning because you can't see a lot of blind spots in some certain areas. It's very useful. First time I saw that was back in 2014, 2015 models, I believe. This one, it's quite interesting because it is a very different car from what I've driven before. I've driven the standard with 2 liter 4-cylinder, not turbocharged engine. So I want to see how different this thing is. Now to put it in sport, you shift all the way at the bottom. I had it in sport, now it's in drive, now put it back in sport to get some fun time out of this vehicle. And let's see how it does. Oh, quick pick, quick pick. Oh, interesting. Quick pick, I like it. It's it feels quite powerful in my opinion. Let's put it into sport mode in manual transmission. You can have some fun in that too. Even though this thing uses a CVT, the same as the one in the Nissan Sentra, I don't believe they come from the same manufacturer. They're different in both vehicles, and they do feel different as well in shifting. The Honda feels a bit more high off the ground compared to the Sentra, in my opinion. It also feels a lot bigger than the Sentra. The Sentra feels very small inside, pretty much wide open on this area, like I'm stretching my legs, nice and comfortable. Feels so much different than the Sentra inside. Way bigger, in my opinion. For some reason, it feels way bigger inside. In terms of visibility, very similar on both. The rear side, turn your head on the right side passenger window, quite a lot of space. The rear windshield as well. On my left side, the same thing. Very spacious inside. Visibility is good. The ride quality, even in sport mode, doesn't change much. Nice and comfortable. Doesn't feel very bumpy. Doesn't feel hard on the road. It does a great job avoiding those stiffness on some certain areas. The power is there in sport mode when you need it. If you want to overtake cars, mostly that's what you're going to use it for. 174 horsepower, more than enough, more than you need in this kind of car. On a highway, it feels very stable. 100 kilometers an hour speed limit right now. Very nice and comfortable, not very swervy. Doesn't feel like a boat ride. Not very stiff on the road. Very stable at 100 kilometers an hour, which would be about 60 miles per hour. It's an old Honda. There's nothing to complain about this car. Everything works perfectly. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to what you like. What about design? This versus the Versa. What about exterior design and interior? I would say, in my opinion, and of course that is my opinion, looks, I'll give it to the Nissan. It looks more sporty in my opinion. It looks more sporty on the outside, more sporty on the inside. It feels very different to the Honda, in my opinion, again. That depends on everyone, depends on who you ask. Everyone has a different opinion of this. But I do think the Sentra looks slightly better on the outsides. Different profile on the front. This is not bad at all, and this red color does a fantastic job to show the beautiful lines outside, but it's just different on the Sentra in my opinion. In the Nissan Sentra SR, what I like about this, it feels much more quiet inside compared to the Civic, and it feels very comfortable and a soft ride. I like this thing, and it feels very small at the same time. I said the same thing for the Honda. I said that it feels big inside, and it does. This feels more compact and much more smaller compared to the Honda, in my opinion. The steering wheel, love that flat bottom, gives you a different experience. The seats are nice and comfortable, very cushy, and the leather feels a bit different in summertime. This has a suede, but you can also pick leather interior with the SR Premium. You can get the full leather seats. This one has a bit of a suede in the center, cloth, and beautiful stitches around it. A different experience in this vehicle. Everything in this car is different from the old Sentra, that's for sure. The interior, the exterior. But I absolutely like how different the exterior looks and how much better it looks, in my opinion, compared to the Honda Civic. Did a quick test in regards to the cabin noise, and of course found out that this has, at 60 kilometers an hour for both vehicles, this will do about 63 dB. That was the level that I found with this. Meanwhile, the Honda Civic was 63.5, so literally not far off each other. It was done in the same area as I did the Honda. The only difference is that this vehicle might be, because it has less kilometers in it, that could be one reason why, is a bit more quiet inside. But generally, I do find this much more quiet in the inside. You can have a normal conversation, even when you speed up. In terms of the power delivery, this thing is pretty good too. It reacts quickly, does the job well. This also offers a 4-cylinder engine with the CVT and, of course, front-wheel drive drivetrain. We don't have any paddle shifters in the Sentra. We do have an automatic transmission with a sport option. So the difference in this one compared to the Honda, where you push the gear level all the way to the back to get it to sport mode, this has a little button behind the gear knob where you press and you'll put it right into sport mode. Very cool. It took me a while to find because it's kind of hidden in the back, but you can see it behind it in case if you want to use it. It also has a lower gear option as well beside drive, or the sport, as I said, in behind the actual gear knob. Okay, I put it into sport mode now, and let's see how fast it goes into this road. Not as quick as the Honda. I think it has to do with the transmission in this thing, because it doesn't react as quick as the Honda, in my opinion. It could go a bit faster. The turbocharged engine, not as responsive as the Honda. Like 4,000 RPM and then it's moving. You rev high and then the engine wakes up, kind of thing. You don't feel the same power as the one in the Honda. That is quite interesting. When you push these cars, this is where you find out how quick they actually are. This, come on. Yeah, it revs really high, but there's no power coming out of that engine. It's not doing anything. That's very interesting. Like, you can tell the difference between this and the Civic. The Civic is quick, right where you need it. I like the Civic. This is not quite there. It could be the reason why it's because of the CVT that they use. Nissan is known to have an outrageous CVT. People have complained about the CVT. Not sure if they use the same model as the previous one. You can't find any details online, but it's still a CVT. So, like, you push the pedal and the engine revs high, but there's no power to the wheels. Don't expect anything different or better than the Honda on this, in my opinion. What I like about this, though, is how comfortable it feels inside. Even at high speeds, feels very stable on the road. Right now we're doing 100 kilometers an hour, of course, the speed limit, and feels much more stable on the road. And I do think that this feels better on the inside in terms of the cabin noise. You don't hear the road as much. Visibility is pretty good in this vehicle too, very similar to the Honda Civic. They're technically the same length, so they're not, one is not bigger than the other one. They're very similar when it comes to the actual dimension. It's more to do with the actual wide part, which one is wider compared to the other one, but generally the actual length between these two is almost the same. And there is a truck that has the wheel on fire. Interesting. Not good. Which one would I buy? Well, first of all, I wouldn't buy the SR standard. I'll buy the SR Premium because it will give you more options. It will give you better tech features. In terms of the ones that we have for today's video, the standard SR versus the Honda Touring, I will say you have to look at your budget. The Touring will give you more options, but of course it's going to cost you more money. The Honda Civic Touring has some extra features that I mentioned previously. Some of those you can't find them in the Sentra, even in the premium, such as the heated seats in the rear side. This one does offer a 360 view, and this does offer intelligent view, which you can purchase separately. It also offers Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in this, and of course in the premium, and you will get leather seats as well. Bose premium audio system. Bose has been used by Nissan and Infiniti multiple times. So those are some of the extra features you get in the premium. Then you'll go about $26,000, $27,000 or so, which is closer to the Civic. But even when you purchase the premium SR, you still don't get all the features that you'll get in the Touring. So the Civic will cost you a bit more compared to the Nissan Sentra SR Premium. Again, even the highest trim that you will purchase. You have to look at the budget. I absolutely love the design of this thing, the exterior design, and I like the interior too. Nothing fancy in here too, compared to the Honda. So I'd say probably, potentially, I would go for this vehicle. I'm not 100% convinced yet. In terms of the space too, I did the test in the rear side. They're very similar, leg room, headroom, within the same size. Again, same length, so nothing, it doesn't change drastically on both vehicles. But I do like to go back to the reason why I like the Sentra is mostly the exterior design on the Sentra. It looks more sporty, more appealing in my opinion. The Civic, it's because it's not been updated. That's the difference too. But I don't think Honda is going to update the Civic for another 2 years probably, or a year. I don't know yet. We haven't gotten any actual response on Honda, whether it's going to be the next year and so on. But for now, that's what we have. It's the last generation, the 10th generation of Honda Civic. With that in mind, thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe. And just because you watch this video, you get a promo or a discount from Oakville Honda if you use the link in the description box. Follow that link, you'll get your discount or promo because you watched this video. You spend your time here. I appreciate that. Thank you, and be safe. Cheers.